What's up, everyone? All right, well, here I am on the traveling trading station, making some money this morning. Another solid day. Small account continues to grow. I am up right now $1,262.92, which is an awesome day. This is the 9th day of the small account challenge. So this morning, when I started trading, I had $2,400 in the account. So the account's up 50% today. Yesterday or Friday was 100%. Today's 50%. This is pretty crazy. So tomorrow on day 10, I'll be starting with about $3,600 of total buying power, of total account value. My buying power is 3,500 times 6. So I'll have over $20,000 in buying power. And now that I'm kind of past that first week, I can start really growing the account quickly. It's a beautiful day here, still in Miami. It's sunny, we've got the beach. It's nice and warm. I mean, considering it's December, it's awesome down here. Really can't complain at all. So, the only thing that I'm a little disappointed about today is that I was up 1,600, and then I gave back 400 on my last 2 trades. And in my big account, I was up 6,000. And I gave back 4,000 on my last 2 trades. So, that's a little disappointing. The small account still in great shape. $1,200 is fantastic. The big account, that's a little bit of a bigger hit. I gave back more than half of my profit on that one, but it's the way it goes. I had a really great day on Friday, and today I kind of continue to be a little aggressive, rolled some of those profits into today's risk in order to take a little more risk for bigger return. And generally, it worked. I'm green, and I'm in good shape. Could have been in a little better shape if I walked away a little sooner, but on the other hand, on Friday, I probably left money on the table. I didn't trade quite as much as I could have. The stocks continued to run, and I didn't want to do that today. So today, I traded a little longer and ended up, instead of leaving money on the table, giving back a little profit. But it all kind of balances itself out over the long run. And right now, on day 9, I'm feeling really good with this small account, making some great progress, and I'll go into day 10 in really good shape. All right, so I hope you guys enjoy the recap. As always, questions, comments, leave them right down below, and I will see you guys first thing tomorrow morning for day 10. All right, everyone, so we're going to break down the trades from this morning. Up $1,262.92 in my small account, which is awesome, up 50%. The big account, my retirement account, is up $2,013, which is great. Now, I was up $6,000, so it's not as good as being up $6,000, but $2,000 is still good. But my main account here is down $1,300. So on this one, I took one trade on MIRM, got out basically flat, and had a second trade on SIF where I lost $1,400. So I'll break down the trades here, and this is one of the things we were talking about during the inner circle. Just because you can trade in 3 accounts at the same time doesn't necessarily mean you should. Dividing your attention across 3 accounts is certainly not an easy thing to do, and sometimes, in the case today, I was a little frustrated in my this account here, MIRM, because I was pressing my hotkey. So the way I trade these 2 accounts is with my left hand, I trade my small account, and with my right hand on this computer, I trade my big account. And, so it's kind of a next level of trading. But in any case, that's what I do. And what ended up happening was when I was pressing Shift 1 to get into MIRM, I wasn't highlighted on my level 2 window. And so obviously I didn't fill any shares. And it ended up ripping over $2 a share. That was right here from 17 up to the halt level of 1882. And so I was really frustrated, because I tried to take 6,000 shares of that in my big account, and that would have been awesome. And at that point, I was already up $6,000. So that could have put me up 10 or even, maybe 15,000. but I, wasn't on the right window, so the orders didn't go through. And so then when it squeezed up here to the 20s, I ended up taking a couple more trades, but I was sort of feeling a little FOMO here. Even though I was feeling good on this account, I was feeling a little FOMO on this account. And, that's a sort of tough place to trade from, where one account you're feeling great about, the other one you're feeling FOMO or frustration on. But right now, it's kind of the only way that I can do a small account challenge and still make good money. Not that $1,200 isn't good in a small account today, but I made $1,200 on a stock that with a big account I can make $6,000 on. So I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, once this account gets a little bigger, I'll have the buying power to focus on it pretty exclusively. Although, of course, at that point, I'll probably be getting ready to do another small account challenge. So I can kind of keep doing these small account challenges and, keep kind of showing you guys how it's done. So in any case, let's break down the trades. Okay, so today started pretty much like any other day, looking at our gap scanner. It's Monday. Gap scanner at 9:15 a.m. Was looking kind of interesting. I mean, nothing spectacular, but but not bad. So the leading gapper, as you can see, actually had no volume. HJLI, only one share volume. So that one we just ignored and skipped over. AXSM, $85 stock, so that one's no good. And the next one down was MIRM at $11.81, up 44% with a 4.3 million share float and 34,000 shares of pre-market volume. So this met all of the criteria for being a stock worth trading. The only thing about it that was a little tricky was the price. The price being, at 10 is a little higher than I'd prefer. Obviously, I was trading LMPX on Friday at $30 plus a share. So I'm willing to trade them if they're showing strength, but it's also really common that stocks of this price range will kind of pop up, go sideways, get really choppy, and don't really give us big moves. It's more often that when a stock goes from 4 to 6 to 8 to 10 to 12, that when it's trading at $12, it's still kind of trading like a $4 stock because it was just at $4. This one was at $7.50, wasn't actively traded really, and then gapped up to 12. So this is one I was a little unsure about and didn't end up trading for a few minutes. I'll show you kind of where I started trading it. So that was MIRN on the gap scanner, and then SF was a couple down here at $3.50. So let's look at SF first. SF also met the criteria actually in a better way. 350 is a better price. 29% gap is great. 4 million shares of a 4 million share float. 22,000 shares of pre-market volume. The bell rings and it opens at 319. Now this was kind of interesting because even though you see this is a big green candle, it actually opened a little low versus kind of the pre-market close, which was at 340. So when it opened below 350, and kind of looked like maybe it was going down, I sort of hesitated. It then ripped through 350, hits 375, 380, 390, 395, $4, and then it does a micro pullback right here. I got in for this micro pullback breakout at 4 and rode that momentum, that pop up to 420, and then I got back in on this dip right here and sold on what ended up being a double top at 420. So those are my two trades. And actually on this one right here, this first trade, it hit a high of 399. It then dipped down to 370, and as it started to curl back up, that's where I got in around 375 for that break over 4. So I wasn't in at 4, I was in just well below that level. We got the break of 4 and the rip up to 420, and I sold it on the ask, taking profit around 410 or something like that. The second trade was a good one. However, I took this second trade in my large account and I added at 315 and 320, thinking it was going to 415, 420, thinking it was going to break that level. Next target being 450, 460, maybe 5. But 450 was the next target. What ended up happening is it flushed back down to 375. And so that was the trade in my larger account where I ended up losing $1,400, which was kind of obviously disappointing. That's not what you want. But the reality is I can't be as fast I can't be super fast into accounts at the same time. I only have 2 hands. So I trade the small account with the majority of my focus, and the big account, if I take a trade and it ends up ripping and working, then that's great. But if it doesn't work right away, I'm not going to be able to kind of cut the loss fast. I'm most likely going to have a bigger loss in that account. And so that account will be marked by bigger winners and bigger losers, just as the nature of sort of that strategy is going to dictate. So anyways, double top here at 420, and then from there fading back down, not holding this level, and has no longer been in play. So $623.53 in the small account on that is pretty good. And then on MIRM, we'll switch to this one. My first trade on it was actually a really kind of a small trade. It broke over 1274. It rips up here to 1368. It hits a high of 1479. It does a pullback. And then right in here, this was my first really good trade on it. I had one trade right in here for the break over 14, kind of just jumping on the momentum. And that was the one where I was up 50 cents for a second and then way back down and stopped out flat. So I was like, okay, that's a little choppy, not easy. And then this pullback here. So you see how on the 1 minute, it starts to pop up. It hits a high of 1479. It pulls back. And then this right here over 1420, first little candle to make a new high, a break of this level, that was the spot. And so that's where volume started to come in. We got that break of 1450, a rip up to 15, 16, a halt at 1605. I'm still holding small shares into the halt. All right. Then it opens a little higher. It pulls back, and then it pops up over 17, but doesn't really rip nicely until right here where it comes back up and breaks 1725. So then this was the next entry in the small account where I did really well. In the big account, this is where I missed my fill. It then squeezes and gets halted a second time at 1882. It opens higher. All right, it hits a high of 20. It pulls back. It rips up, and I added at $21.84 for the break over 22. It broke 22, hit 22.19, and then it dropped to $20.25, and I lost $1.50 per share. So I actually took a pretty good size loss on it, giving back $4,000 in one trade. It then came back up here. I took another quick trade on it. This was in the small account, and this was the trade where I lost $400. So I thought it was going to break 22, and it did, but it double topped at the highs. So today's a day where I gave back a little bit of profit off the high, and this is kind of, I don't know. I mean, I'm a little bummed out that I gave back as much as I did in the large account. The small account, I'm pretty okay with. $400 is not something you love to do. That was with 200 or 300 shares, so it was a pretty quick loss. In the big account, it's disappointing because it can sometimes take days or weeks to get a really nice $6,000 or $8,000 winner. And I had it this morning, and then I didn't taper back my risk enough on that last trade. And so on that last trade, I gave back more than half of my daily gains by continuing to trade with the same share size of 5,000 and 6,000 shares. So I was being a little too aggressive there. Generally, the smart thing to do is to start to reduce share size as you get further and further into the day. I know, Ibrahim, you did pretty well today. You're up around 7,000, and you were talking about how you've had a really great hot streak. I mean, you've had some huge green days in the last couple weeks. 5,000, 10,000, you had a $16,000 day. You've had 4 awesome days in a row. And so in 4 days, so you just say it's made $28,000 in 4 days, which is awesome. I mean, that's incredible. But he said earlier today, he said, I feel like a red day is coming and a big loss is coming. And I actually, I had a nightmare over the weekend, an actual bad dream over the weekend, that I took a trade and lost $5,000 in the small account, and that I was just like, oh my God, this isn't like. Not only did I blow up the account, I'm down I'm down $5,000. I only had $2,500 in the account in my dream, so I was red. I was now in the red in the account, and it was such a real dream that I was just like, the whole next day, which was yesterday, Sunday, I was thinking about it, and I was like, oh man, I've got to just take it easy. You know what? Your account's up 100%. So I made this sticky note. Account's up 100%. Slow and steady. Slow and steady. You know, this isn't a race. This is a marathon. Just, set your pace now and just kind of grind on the smaller numbers. Sometimes it's it's kind of a strategy of, racing and stuff like that. Sometimes you want to get out in front, quickly, and then pull back and kind of set your pace. Other people are totally okay with like kind of starting slow and then gaining towards the end. But, a lot of people kind of like to get out early, push a little hard, and then just kind of set the pace and then maintain it. And, right now, this is day 9 of the small account challenge. 9th day, the account tomorrow will have $3,600. So I started with $520. I've now got $3,600. So the account's up 5 times 5, 25, 5 times 6 is 30, 5 times 7. I mean, it's up 7 times in the last 9 days. This has been a really nice hot streak that we've had here. And, it's okay to taper back a little bit, bring down the share size and try to reduce the risk. So, I think that certainly on my first couple trades of SIF, I was a little more conservative. I didn't go nearly as aggressive on it as I could have. Once it was over $4, I had my margin on it, but I didn't want to push it too hard. So SIF, I took a little slow. I hesitated at the start, and then kind of waited for a good pullback. MIRM, I stepped up on it, but trading with between 100 and 300 shares. So my buying power would accommodate being much more aggressive than that, but I didn't want to push it and get smoked. So trying to sort of get myself in the mindset of the marathon, setting my pace, and if I can maintain 500 a day, that is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I don't need to be hitting $1,000, $1,500, or $2,000 days back to back. Obviously, if the market is hot, that's fine. And the market has been really hot here in the last, the last 2 weeks, mostly on LMPX. But, here we have another one up right now 115%. So this is a day where money can be made. And it makes sense to be a little bit more aggressive. But, always just trying to keep that kind of question in your mind of what am I risking on this trade and can I really afford that risk? And, today I was able to afford the risk I took, and I'm walking away green. So, definitely when you get into that kind of race mentality of, I want to cross this line, I want to make this amount of money, that's when I can start to get into a little bit of trouble myself. I know that from, my experience. So I have no idea how much I'm up on the month right now. It's the 16th. We're about halfway through the month. I know I'm up 3,400 as of today, or 3,600 in the small account. But in my big account, I'm not tracking it at all. I'm not even looking at it. I'll look at it at the end of the month. But the reality is checking my balance on a daily basis to see where I am relative to my typical monthly goal, it's not helpful. It's not going to change how strong the market is or how weak the market is. So I just have to continue to be focused on trading the market that's right in front of me. All right, so that's the game plan. We'll go into day 10 tomorrow. Hopefully we'll see some continued momentum, whether it's on MIRM or SIF or something else we traded today. LMPX having a little bit of a pullback day today, which is, I think, absolutely to be expected. So I wasn't eager to jump into it. I'm just going to let it continue to consolidate. We'll see if it gives opportunities later this week. But with the price being higher on this one, I just said, guys, I don't feel like I can trust it. I could just lose too much too quickly, because I knew the volume pre-market was already lighter since it wasn't gapping higher. So I just felt like lighter volume on a stock of this price range, the spreads I knew would be big. And so I decided to mitigate that risk by not trading it at all. So I'm glad that I stuck with it. And a nice comment that someone posted on YouTube mentioned exercising your stopping power, so your ability to stop. And that even though some days, absolutely, you'll walk away having stopped only to watch a stock like LMPX go another 50% without you. That muscle, that's strengthening that muscle to walk away is very, very important. You have to know when to walk away. On Friday, I walked away at the very top. You're not going to do that consistently every single day. That's almost impossible. Today, I'm walking away a little bit off the top. I gave back a little to the market. But with what we were seeing on MIRM and relative to the momentum that we saw Friday on LMPX, I thought that it did make sense today to to step it up a little bit more. But I did give back some profit, so I actually would have been better off today if I stopped trading right at 10 o'clock or so. But in any case, think of that as sort of strengthening the muscle. So even though it doesn't always feel good, it's really important to do that. Okay, so that's it for me. I will see you guys tomorrow for day 10 of the Small Account Challenge. All right, see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Hey, did you know every morning I go live to stream my pre-market watch list? Subscribe to the channel, press the alert button, and you'll get the notifications. And if you want to learn more about trading, check out the links in the description. And if you have questions, post them in the comments, because I personally respond to every comment posted on my channel.